Welcome to the Hotel Moment podcast presented by Revenate. I'm Brenna Turpin, and I'm a Revenator who works alongside our host, Karen Stevens, to produce our podcast. Our guests here on the show leave us with insights and perspectives to consider as we take on challenges within the industry. We decided to complement those perspectives with industry resources and practical solutions that you can implement right away to improve your operations and generate more direct revenue. So pull the chair, let's get straight to what matters most for your property. Is personalization creepy? The kind of creepy that comes from personalized ads on your favorite social media apps. You were just browsing for a pair of running shoes, searching sites all day for the right pair, when the next morning you see a dozen Instagram ads marketing the best running shoes. So yeah, maybe a little creepy, but it doesn't have to be that way. Guests actually feel that when you do personalization right, aka respect their privacy, it's not creepy at all. In fact, a survey TransUnion conducted this year points out that nearly 4 in 10 U.S. consumers expect brands to personalize their online shopping experience with tailored interactions, product recommendations, and marketing that aligns with their individual preferences and behaviors. And nearly 40% of U.S. consumers also indicate that personalization makes them more likely to buy and increase their affinity for brands. And it isn't just consumers in the U.S. Personalization is a worldwide expectation. Based on a massive global sample of 23,000 consumers, Boston Consulting Group's study found 80% of consumers worldwide are comfortable with personalized experiences, and many actually expect them. So the whole creepy element comes in when you personalize without respect for your guests' privacy, collecting data without their consent, or misusing their data as an excuse to spam them with marketing emails. Matis Vela, CEO of Muse, talks about how hoteliers should be thinking about careful personalization when he says,
"There's so much progress that I've seen in the last 2 years alone about how guest profile data has been cleaned up and making it much more actionable so that all of the emails and the communication that we send out to guests is way more relevant, because in a time of AI, people expect real personalization. Like the email that I get in my inbox should speak to me and what my needs are and contact me at the right time. So we definitely need to lean into cleaning up our data much more."
Ultimately, your personalization serves as a tool to make your segmentation strategy foolproof, consistent, and perfect for each guest. No more spamming marketing emails. This is where segmentation becomes extremely important to your marketing story, especially when you target your guests. Because if you don't use segmentation, well, then you're pretty gutsy, I must say, because you must be pretty confident that everything you put out there is going to be relevant and resonate with every guest. Because your guests want messaging, offers, and promotions that feel special to them. In fact, 81% of hoteliers use personalization and segmentation to lift revenue. And 57% of hoteliers reported higher guest satisfaction with personalization. So don't let your hotel miss out on that revenue impact because you haven't developed your segmentation superpowers. To hear how you could put segmentation into practice, listen to Kathleen Cullen, EVP at PTG Consulting, explain.
There's so many different segments that you can truly narrow down. And then I would even take it a step further and make sure that you understand where those opportunities are, who those competitors are per segment. Reflect that in your communication out to the customers, including your website, but also don't forget about your reservation sales department, because they're critical in understanding how to talk with a business traveler versus a group traveler versus a luxury leisure traveler.
So we can all understand what Kathleen is saying here. Know your guest segments and communicate accordingly on a variety of channels. But since your data informs your segmentation, if your data is messy or inaccurate, it's hard to even start to pull your segments together. And we found that a lot of hoteliers feel the pain of messy, disorganized data because we surveyed a lot of them. We teamed up with Happy for a full report covering all the data challenges hoteliers report. 40% cited disconnected systems as their biggest obstacle, preventing seamless information flow across departments and hindering unified guest profiles. If you're curious about what the report says, we'll link it for you in the show notes. That's why capturing clean data and breaking down your data silos is so important, because then you can see your guest profiles take shape, seeing patterns and characteristics for each. And speaking of patterns and connecting them to drive revenue, Adam Mogilonsky, partner at Hotel Mogul Consulting, says,
your data has to be of a high caliber. We can use different statistical terms to talk about what we know about our guests, and we can only say this or that. But realistically, when you want to do any sort of one-to-one marketing, or you want to find out who your guests are to inform the future of packages, the future of sales, if you have a bunch of guests where all you know about them is their email and their first and last name, or the email is an alias of an OTA for that particular segment, it's going to skew all the statistics, and it's going to prevent you from really doing that deep dive on what are the emotional drivers behind why a guest is booking with you, rebooking with you, spending more with you, or recommending to their friends. That is really the core of the revenue funnel. The age-old advertising adage is that it is far easier to keep an existing client than to find a new one on a sheer marketing basis. So the more you know about the people who have come to your property in the past, the more you can go back to them, and instead of saying, oh, we have this new offer, does it happen to coincide with what you're interested? We can come back with things like, we see your anniversary is coming up in 2 months' time and that you stayed with us 2 years ago for that. Would you like the exact same thing to relive that moment, only with this new type of champagne that we just got in? Maybe you want to change things up just a bit, and we still have that same prefix menu, but it's been updated since the 2 years when you've been here. You can get really granular.
So clean, informative data strengthens your segmentation and quite simply just makes revenue generation easier. Instead of spending loads of time piecing together information that could be relevant for a particular guest, technology that consolidates your data like a CDP already puts that together, giving you insights by way of AI. And when we get into talking about segment filters, you can experience 2.6 times more revenue when using 3 segment filters instead of 2. The more specific you can get, the better. So check out our hospitality benchmark report for more details on this that we'll also link in the show notes for you. The fact is that hoteliers are getting even more creative with their segmentation. We have some campaigns we'll be sharing here on the screen if you're watching this show on YouTube. The Datai Langkawi, a 5-star beach resort located in the heart of the rainforest, effectively used segmentation to its advantage and targeted guests located in Malaysia and the Middle East. They sent a one-time campaign to celebrate Ramadan that included a video featuring the hotel, which wished guests a spiritual renewal emerging from the holy month of Ramadan, securing over 200 room nights, all from guests who opted to book directly. So not only did this holiday campaign inspire bookings, but it also spread joy and festivity of the holiday and capitalized on what the local community and local guests would be interested in. And if you're looking to create some campaigns that are built around certain times, La Jolla Shores and sunny San Diego targeted guests with a one-time email campaign. Guests who stayed within the next 4 months, segmenting for a specific date range, were offered a 35% discount on a future stay, creating a sense of urgency for guests actually worked to their advantage as it encouraged them to book their next stay within 4 months. A 78% open rate and 279 room nights booked with this campaign alone. Wow. I guess now the only question is your segmentation strategy delivering value to your guests and revenue for your business? To make things easy on yourself, instead of spending your time researching the answer and clicking on a bunch of articles for segmentation tips, you could just register for our direct booking mastery certification. It's so comprehensive that you'll emerge with more than enough knowledge to feel confident in segmentation, but also a plethora of other business strategies. We have a whole course with 4 other strategies that you can use to nurture real guest relationships that last and in turn drive more revenue for your property. Let us know if you've registered and post your certification on LinkedIn. We want to see it.